People of Reddit, what is your downright scariest real-life story? Hearing a weird groan while hanging out with friends in a sketchy part of Phoenix. We could hear someone groaning and occasionally saying help in a soft and tired voice. We go towards the voice, and find a guy laying on the ground in a blood-covered shirt, one hand holding up a knife in his gut. His eyes were weirdly focused on us but was whimpering and writhing. He kept saying, "Help me, oh God, I'm going to die. Please, help me." We said we would call an ambulance and he really didn't like that idea. "No. Don't call 911, just help me. I'm going to die." We called anyway. He stood up in his blood-covered shirt, knife in hand, said fuck, and ran away. My 14-year-old illegitimate son reached out to me, but I, 30 male, don't want anything to do with him. I currently have a girlfriend, 26. We have been dating for 4 years, and plan on getting married. She knows about all this, by the way. When I was 16 and in high school, I had a summer fling with this 18-year-old girl. We had sex, but she took birth control pills. But then near the end of the summer, August, she told me that she was pregnant. She said that when she might have forgotten to take her pills once or twice. My mother was extremely upset at the both of us, but more at her. She pressured her to get an abortion ASAP, but the girl refused. My mum then hired a lawyer to sort out paternity and child support issues. When the kid was born, I wasn't listed on the birth certificate, but my mum had to help pay for child support until I was about 21. Anyways, I opted for no contact with the child, a boy, and all the connection we had was a monthly check. The mother tried to contact me throughout these years, but I never responded, and I actually had to get a restraining order on her when I was 18. I had blocked her online and everywhere, basically, but then she sent a letter to my dorm begging me to come visit the baby. But after the restraining order, I haven't heard a peep from either of them. However, today my son, now 14, has emailed me out of the blue. His mother gave him my email. This boy wrote how he wants to meet me, and whether I can come over for lunch one day. First of all, I am mad that his mum gave him my email address and contact information. Second, I really don't want to see him. For the past 14 years I've been trying to forget that the whole thing ever happened. I'm from an affluent family, and when word got out that I became a teen dad, rumors and gossip spread and people in our social circle called me trashy and a disgrace to my family. I tried so hard to change my image. I did well in high school and went to law school, graduated top of my class, and I'm a lawyer now. I've been avoiding him pretty successfully. I've never even seen a picture of this boy, and I don't know where he lives or where he goes to school. I do know that his mother got married, but I don't know who to. But on the other hand, he did sound very hopeful that he'd get to meet me. From his lengthy email, he sounds like he has been thinking of meeting me for many years. I don't want to break the kid's heart. But what if it's a trap, and it's actually his mother writing this in an attempt to harass me again? I have told my girlfriend, and she says she is alright with me seeing him, but that's it. Up to me, and she really doesn't know what I should do, but she will support me either way. Which one of history's good guys was actually a horrible person? Henry Ford was so anti-Semitic that Hitler considered him a hero. John Lennon. Violent wife-beater, vicious and hateful little shitbag. He used to scream at his baby boy when he was crying because it distracted him. Wrote Imagine speaking about dreaming of no possessions, from his multi-million-dollar condo overlooking Central fucking Park in NYC. Didn't speak to George Harrison for months after he published his autobiography because it didn't praise Lennon quite enough for his taste. Absolute piece of shit. So I learned recently that Coco Chanel of Chanel No. 5 was very anti-Semitic and eventually became a Nazi spy. Rudyard Kipling, author of The Jungle Book. Paraphrasing, the only way to keep the yellow man out is to bring the white man in. Has any Redditor been kidnapped? If yes, what is your story? My old teammate got kinda kidnapped. Nicest guy you'll ever meet. Told me a story about when he got kidnapped. Mind you, he was a 190-pound college athlete at the time. Essentially he got carjacked and shoved in his own trunk. But the perpetrators just wanted to use his car for a joyride. So after a night of speeding, smoking blunts in his car, and doing whatever else, they got pulled over by the police. He said the looks on the cops' faces was something else, thinking they were coming up on a routine traffic stop, only to find the driver and owner was in the trunk of the car. Not me. My public speaking teacher was telling us how she had another class do a 5-minute speech on something important in their lives. Most were boring as presentations, mostly hobbies or a weird vacation in Cuba. Then a guy finishes his presentation with, and that's when the FBI showed up and rescued me, because the people vacationing with me were not, in fact, my family. They were drug dealers who'd kidnapped me from my home, smuggled me to Cuba, and were demanding X amount of dollars for my safe return. What's the worst scandal to happen at your school? A kid in my senior year short story class, who sat directly behind me, was charged with the stabbing, beheading and burning of one of his friends/drug dealer. The lunch lady was having sex with students and buying them alcohol. A girl gave a guy a BJ behind a building, her braces got stuck on his dick, he pulls back, dick bleeding, punches her in the mouth, she goes and tells the principal, parents get called in, he yells she cut my dick while the door was open. Everyone knew then. An overachieving student in my year went nuts and pooped in a bag in a teacher's classroom. My high school guidance counselor fucked a science teacher's wife and everyone knew about it. They got a divorce. Both teachers still work at the same school to this day, and students will never ever let it go. The story has been handed down from year to year. I tried to terminate my pregnancy the entire 9 months. I never wanted kids ever. At the beginning of my relationship I specifically told my boyfriend I don't want kids. Soon after I ended up pregnant. At first I was happy, but over time I started to panic and think awful things. I scheduled an appointment to get an abortion, but I was too far along and it couldn't be done. I planned everything out. I bought a small jewelry box as a casket for my baby. I wrote and rehearsed a lie about having a miscarriage. I looked up ways to terminate a pregnancy at home, pills I could take, throwing myself downstairs. Yes, I did. I even purposely fell on my stomach, laid flat on my back, starved myself. After everything, he was still alive, and perfect. After a while I stopped, and went into a depression, and I still am. I was hoping something went wrong and he would be stillborn. Now, for months later I still have these thoughts. I miss my old life, I miss sleeping all night, going out with friends, staying out all night. I miss my old life. I feel trapped, and I can never escape this life, but I do love my son so much. When I look at his cute smile, and the way he looks at me, I think about all the things I did, and it makes me cry. I look at him, and I apologize all the time. He is healthy, and a happy baby, but a part of me still wishes I went to the clinic sooner. I know what I did was wrong, and I hate myself for it now. I'm sorry if this is too triggering to read, but this is my confession.